Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a quick writing update just to kind of give a progress report of where I am in my quarter and my quarterly goals and all my writing goals for this quarter. Let's just dive right into it. This quarter has been rough so far, very rough, and I am so glad that I went super light on my goals for the beginning of this year. I'll do a quick shot of my Kanban board, but here's how it's looking now. I have gotten quite a bit done, and some of these, actually I had used an old set of sticky notes and they kept falling off, and so I've already gotten some down in my cup that I'll be keeping my sticky notes in from all year. I feel like I've done pretty well so far. We're 6 weeks into the quarter now. I'm not entirely sure. I should have done my research before I pulled up the camera and started filming. But overall, I feel like I've done really well. I did add one project that I was not expecting to do at the beginning of the quarter. I've added that in at the last minute and I've been working on it. I felt like the needs outweighed the, the pros outweighed the cons of adding it in. So I went ahead and I'm doing that, and that project is Legacy and getting it published finally. So so I've done pretty well on my Kanban board, and I'm still working on some other things. Getting into my individual writing projects, I kind of had this moment when I met up with a friend of mine over winter break, over the Christmas holidays, and I was telling her about my beta reading and critique groups and kind of some of the troubles and struggles I'd been having with having my work critiqued, and I really don't know if I want to get into all this. It's not the fault of the critiquers and my beta readers. I love them to death. They offer me amazing feedback, but I kind of got stuck in this loop of critiquing. I'd have something critiqued and then I'd work furiously on it, and then I'd start, I'd have it critiqued again, and then I'd be doubting everything and changing everything again, and I'd get stuck in this loop. And the more I thought on it, the more I realized that I have been stuck in this loop for years. And I feel like I realized how much it was holding me back. And when I thought on it a lot. And when I met with my friend over Christmas break and I was explaining this to her, she's like, well, why do you send it out for feedback? I just don't have it beta read. I'm like, huh, okay. And I realized that it was fear holding me back. That I've been afraid that my work isn't good enough. And yeah, I'm sure it's got issues with it at some points in any of these pieces that I'm working on, because that's another thing. I'm a serial project starter, and that, they're not perfect, but I don't think they ever will be. They are what they are now. And long story short, the more I thought about that, the more I was thinking about my story Legacy on Wattpad. This story I've had for a while. I finished it in 2017, and I've had it critiqued a number of times. I had a whole revision plan for it, but the story is loved so well on Wattpad by its fans as it is right now. And if I went in and changed it and edited it, and I could be making it better, but I'd be changing it from what it is, and what everybody loves it as right this moment. And that was a difficult decision. And then I had to really think, it's like, well, I know I had all these plans for it, but there's so many other books I want to write. Am I really going to go back and edit it? And I was like, probably not. It probably won't happen. And so I was like, well, then I should just go ahead and publish it and get it out so that people can buy it. 'Cause it's one of those books that I get a lot of requests for publication, and a lot of comments and personal messages on the Wattpad platform for. And so, yeah. So that was the project I added to my quarterly goals this year, or this first quarter. And I am about 50%, 45% of the way through the project. I am going through and doing a cursory edit through Grammarly and just fixing typos, fixing blatant inconsistencies with the story, rewording some of the passages so they're a little clearer, adding little bits of detail here or there. It's not an overall edit, I'm not changing the story, but I'm going through each chapter and just kind of updating it. But it's going to cover, I have created all my front back matter, I have started the vellum project, the vellum file, and I have the pre-order set up on Draft to Digital, and I am just I am just very kind of in awe with myself after that whole discussion and revelation, I guess, of just why, Jen, just why. I feel like my whole outlook has kind of changed. And so Legacy's almost done and it's almost published. My next project, and I hope to have that done, the pre-order completely done by the time this video goes live. So by the end of the week. I will put the link below for those interested in checking it out. But after I get that done, then I'm going to look at Frostbite and finish that. I feel like that's one of those ones that's just been in that critique feedback loop of sending it out and getting it back in and questioning every decision I make and change I make on it and sending it back out and then questioning it again, and I just need to stop. I have fans on Wattpad and they love my work and they want it. They want more of it. I have fans who love to read my work. So I don't want to sound overconfident. I know I still have a lot of growth as an author to do and as a writer, but at some point I just need to jump in and do it. And I think that's what I'm going to do this year. So without further ado, updates. I've talked about Legacy. Pre-order link is down below. Its sequel, Will of the Witch, is in the process. One of my goals this quarter was to upload a section of a chapter every week of the quarter. I have not done that. I think I've missed like 1 or 2 weeks just because life, I feel like life is trying to beat me down this quarter. It's been bad. So I missed 1 week, I think, because of kid stuff and just not having any time to write. And then I'm missing this week because I am focusing more on getting the Legacy edits done and not writing and not drafting any words, which I feel is understandable. I did do a rough outline because I'm at the point now where I am writing from scratch again for these uploads. So hopefully maybe I can get 2 sections done next week, possibly as trying to make it up. As for how the story is going, I'm in chapter 10 and I feel like I'm a little over halfway, 3/4 of the way through the book. I don't know, this book has been weird. It has been weird trying to figure it out. I had it plotted and then at some point I went off the plot line and I've just been kind of going with my gut, and I don't know, it's a hot mess. And I probably will not write straight to Wattpad anymore after this book. I've been very frustrated with the slow progress and getting it done. I think next time I start a book on Wattpad, I am going to have a very complete rough draft to start from. So yeah, but I will continue working on Will the Witch throughout the quarter and trying to get that up to date. The next project is Frostbite, and I mentioned this earlier with Legacy and all that. Once I've completed my Legacy project and getting it published, I will be turning my focus onto Frostbite and the American Blood series. So Frostbite is the prequel, and this is an urban fantasy along the lines of the Dresden Files, Anita Blake, early Anita Blake, that kind of thing. So I've just been enjoying writing it and getting it down. It's kind of an origin story of how Jack and Reese find each other and become partners, I guess, in a way. Reese is a old vampire from a very privileged and secretive clan of vampires that are almost seen as celebrities within the vampire world of these books. And Jack kind of stumbles into being his blood servant. And with Frostbite being kind of the origin story, because it's a very interesting tale of how that happens. I think I'm on the 5th draft of Frostbite. The 5th draft. I've been working on this book since 2012, so was when I had the original idea, and 2013 was when I wrote the first draft. So I am ready to be done with it. I've enjoyed the story. I like the characters, but this book needs to be done. And I feel like I'm at a point where I can finish it now. I've rewritten the first chapter since this epiphany happened, and it feels so much smoother and so much cleaner, and I don't even know if I'm going to send it off. I will send it off to an editor, but that might be it before I publish it. So I have a small writing retreat coming up in the next few weeks, and I will be focusing solely on that book and finishing that book. Yeah, that'll be fun. So those are like my main active projects. I have some other projects that I have set aside that I have been working on as I find small chunks of extra time or little bits of inspiration. One of those is Daybreak in my Lightwalkers series. This is one of my oldest story ideas that I've been working on still, and I really do want to finish that series. John and Seth, those characters mean a lot to me, and I want to see them done. And Sin, I can't forget about Sin. So with Daybreak, I think I may try and take a break and finish Daybreak off maybe after I finish Frostbite. I don't know. That's one of those, Daybreak is one of those books. It's the 4th book of my Lightwalkers series, and it's another one of those that I've been posting chapters to Wattpad as I finish them. And so I feel like I just need to write the book out and then start posting those, finish that book and then start posting. The first 3 books of that series were small, like little novelettes, and even in some cases, but those 3 are up for publication, and again, those links are down below if you're interested, but they are early stories. It's all one continuous series of told from multiple point of views, and I think that was my downfall of trying to write that story so early in my writing career. It's very difficult to write multiple point of views. I do enjoy it, but that story has a lot of multiple points of views. There is one other big story that I want to work on this quarter that I haven't gotten to quite yet, but is the next thing, and that is Searching for the Stars, my sci-fi story. This book, I love love this story. It's kind of, I was inspired to write it after watching Firefly. I don't even remember when I wrote it. Wattpad recently released the information for the Waddies this year, and I've always thought it'd be cool. I've always entered for the Waddies, but I've never seriously pursued one, I guess is the best way to do it. It's always like, oh, I'll just enter whatever story I currently have that fits the parameters. But this year I think I'm going to actively try to work on it. So my sci-fi story, Searching for the Stars, was a book I wanted, that is on my list to finish this year. And the reason I want to finish it and polish it up was because beginning next year I was going to, my plan is to start querying it. And the reason why, there's a couple of reasons why I was thinking about querying it versus self-publishing it on my own. One is my ultimate goal is to be a hybrid author. I want to have both traditionally published and self-published book. At least that's my goal at the moment. The second reason why I was going to query it, the traditional route for Searching for the Stars, is because I feel like it doesn't match the other books that I am self-publishing. It has the same themes of family and friendship and kind of finding one's own place in the world, but with the setting being so different, it being a sci-fi versus an urban fantasy, it doesn't really match up with the other books that I'm currently self-publishing. And I don't want to have to rebrand. I also don't want to put it under a pen name. I would like to keep my J.D. Robinson publishing name on it. So, and I feel like this story, I don't know, I just get this feeling that it's supposed to go that way. So we'll see. So my goal was to have it completely polished by the end of the year, taking it a couple of chapters at a time and getting that done throughout the year. And now with the Waddies, I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think the end, the latest, the entries for the Waddies close at the end of September or in September sometime. So I think I'm going to try and get it done by September and get it submitted there, because then I can let it sit, and if it wins, great. If it doesn't, then I will start querying again in January. So I think while the entries close in September for the Waddies, the winners aren't announced until beginning of December. So and I think the big thing for the Waddies this year that's changed is that they're looking for a complete novel of 50,000 words or more that was written recently. And so it won't be written or completed recently, which there are still some scenes I need to write for that book. I wouldn't say it's done. So that is that. I don't know. So yeah, those are my writing updates. I've managed quite a few editing hours and some critiquing hours for some friends of mine lately in the past few weeks. Words are going slowly. Oh, so slowly. I am averaging less than 1,000 words written a week, which is painful, but that's just what it is. I signed up at the end of last year. I usually try and do some sort of word challenge. So last year I participated in the 10-Minute Novelist's 365 Club challenge, where you pledge to write so many words over the course of the year. And then this year I signed up for a similar challenge called Get Your Words Out. And my pledge for this year was 75,000 words over the course of the entire year. Now last year I did manage 126,000 words written, but I also did, I think I did Camp Nano. I won Camp Nano and Nano. Those were big boosters to my word count. things have been crazy this year and all around between my writing and my health and the family stuff, and I just feel like it's been nonstop without a break. So anyway, but hopefully I can keep up with the writing stuff and having all of that going. The Kanban board has been a big help. I have been able to keep up with moving the tabs down. I feel a little discouraged because some of the tasks aren't broken down. I'm not always moving a task down every couple of days, but there's so few of them up there. I don't feel as overwhelmed looking at them all, so that helps. I know that I am still working towards quite a few of them. I have not been using some of my planners. My health and fitness planner I have not been using because I have just not been doing anything. I haven't been tracking my food. I haven't been tracking my fitness. I haven't actually been going to the gym or working out because the only time I can get to physical therapy for my shoulder and the whole neck thing is the time I would normally go to the gym. So I feel like while I haven't been using that planner, I will get back to using it. The other thing is my HB90 goals challenge or goals planner. I was using that to cross off my tasks for each week, but I feel like I've kind of stalled out because some of the tasks are so big on my board. I haven't been crossing them out or just even writing them down again over on the weekly spreads. So I'm not sure if I will continue to use like the weekly task list, but I will be coming back to using that to plan Q2 and figuring out which projects and tasks I'm going to do starting in April. Other stuff, I have been using my Hobonichi. I'm just going to show you real quick. I have been using my Hobonichi to do all my tarot draws. I have actually done really well. I don't always get to it first in the morning. Sometimes I come back in the evening and do my draws, but I have kept up with doing them every day. Except for the 3rd, apparently, but 3rd of January. But other than that, I've done them every day, and it's very, I don't know, there's something about this paper I just love, and it's so satisfying to see it all filled out. While I've been keeping up with my weeklies, where I'm writing down my daily spreads and whatnot, I have not done much with the monthlies other than fill out when the full moons are and like pagan holidays that I want to maybe do special tarot draws on or something like that, but I have not been keeping up with that very well. Same with the daily spreads. Occasionally I will write something down or I will do my full moon spreads on those days, but there's sometimes that it's just blank for a few days, and I think that's fine. I might go through and add some quotes to individual ones or something like that, but I'm not too worried about it. I think this is going to work out great. I'm very happy with my Hobonichi. But yeah, I feel like I've rambled this whole video. I know this one's kind of laid back, but I do have some fun videos coming up in the near future. In the next few weeks, I want to talk about why I started writing and the book that spurred it all, that started it all. And I am going to be filming my writing retreat, so hopefully you guys will get to see a bit of that and how much fun that will be, and seeing my progress on finishing Frostbite. I also wanted to do, my outlining process. I heard back from a lot of you saying you were interested in hearing about my outlining process, so I will do that. Actually, that might be a good idea for Daybreak, because I will have to figure out what I have to write next for that. I would love to know how your writing projects are going. How, I know not everybody kind of plans out their work in quarterlies like I do, but I would love to hear how your progress is going this year. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how your writing projects and your year is going so far. But other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Peace, love, and happy writing, y'all.